All right. Give me like one more sec to remember what number episode we're on.
335.
Is that true? Have we made it 335 episodes here on We Were Gamers, a podcast?
I believe we have.
I don't believe. I know. That's the same thing? Never mind.
I don't know. Is belief knowledge?
Ooh, we're getting deep right off the bat.
I think
Right?
this
I
is
mean-
all answered by the X-Files.
Now I'm just hearing the theme song.
The answer is out there.
Yeah, it is out there. Or is it like? Is that one of those?
I think
things
the
that
answer was
philosophers
definitely
argue
not
about?
out there for them anyway. I'm not hating on the X-Files. I love that show.
How about that movie though?
Which one?
Great question. I only saw one of them. So.
Was there black tar goop in people's eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first one. I liked it.
What was in the second one?
Oh, the second one is after the ending of the show. So there's a decent amount of spoilering there if you want to get into
Did it wrap anything up or no?
Michael, I think you and I watched it together. If my memory serves correctly. That's the one with the daughter and the helicopter. No, we watched the like mini season that was based on the movie, right?
Yes. Yeah. Like 10 episode season.
Yeah.
I think
so they did another movie and it was popular and they didn't really answer anything and they were like, that's because we're making another half season. And then it was weird.
So I think the problem was that there were like 8 or 10 episodes, and the first episode was really good, and then episodes like of the next 4 episodes, there was only really plot in one of them. The other 3 kind of felt like filler, and there was one that was just absolutely ridiculous, and I don't remember what the plot was, but I remember us just laughing ridiculously at it.
Yeah,
like at it, not with it.
Not with it.
Okay.
Yep.
But by the time it got to the end, the last couple of episodes actually really started to move and to feel like they were going somewhere good. And then that was all we got.
That was like 2018. Had to be.
It was longer ago than that.
Yeah, I was going to say it has to be older than that, right? I feel like I would remember.
Because this would have been more like 2014.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So I think I was still staying with you guys, wasn't I? Isn't that why we watched it together?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, time. How does it work?
It's a flat circle. We've already established that.
A dangerous thing to talk about time too much. All right, I have to. Speaking of times, we got to get here. The F1 minute must be heard.
Okay.
The season is over now. They finished it. All the points are tallied. How did you feel about this season, Andrew?
I enjoyed watching it, I would say. I think that the beginning and the end had the most interesting portions. Even if you take out the current drama with Max Verstappen destroying his own personal likeniness. I don't think most of his fans will care at all, actually.
Yep. Just gonna say.
I mean, I like the way the guy races, but it proves more and more that celebrity is a heck of a drug.
I really feel some of that
the
stuff
interesting
is
actual parts of like racing and problems and drama were early when Mercedes was really struggling, and the porpoising of cars that were like really not safe, and the end with all the rain and that sort of stuff was actually somewhat interesting. despite the fact that the whole time it's like, okay, Red Bull's got it in hand because Mercedes can't lock in their car.
Right, and like Ferrari is incapable of doing any strategy whatsoever.
Strategy and engines, dude. If you were like, well, I mean, I guess the only person really would be Enzo Ferrari, right? If you were like really good at strategy and engines, you would beat the other teams. Their car was better other than those two things.
I mean, the only bit of racecraft we saw from them in like the back half of the season was at the very last race, right? They tell Leclerc like on one of the middle laps to like box opposite Red Bull, right? And then immediately Perez dives into the pits, right, to like cover off the undercut from Leclerc.
Sure.
And eventually that costs him the race, right? Because he's not able to catch up.
Well, because they lied.
It cost him second place, right?
Well, because they lied, Michael. They didn't pit.
Well,
no. They weren't planning to pit, right? The message was a decoy, right?
Yeah.
They say to do the opposite of whatever Red Bull does, but they were going to stay out regardless of what Red Bull did, it turned out. So, that's a bit of gamesmanship, but not really strategy, right?
No, it was definitely strategy because they have to talk about it before the race so he knows what the message means, right?
Yeah, so there's also something else. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like there are a bunch of lights on the people's steering wheels, and the drivers can press buttons, and the pit team can use the lights to communicate with them.
Aren't those
like
lights also for like shift warnings and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Talking about other lights.
There are more lights than just those shifting lights.
Oh, okay.
So they can use lights to be like, if you see the red light, the message is a lie, or that kind of stuff, right?
Can I bring this into video games?
Yeah, of course.
I played a new video game that released last week. I bet you can guess what it is.
How many zones does it involve?
2.0 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Warzone 2.0 is out. I did not buy Modern Warfare 2, though I likely may, just because I generally like to just play those games through at some point. I don't know why. It's just a failing of mine. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Warzone 2.0 has added proximity chat to the game.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, a lot of the battle royale type games have it. So
yeah, and they had covered it off for a while to say, oh well, we don't want that in the game. The things that people say, and boy, were they right. Although it has led to some pretty hilarious moments, and also what we were talking about just now with F1, with before the game being like, okay, if I say the word bro at the end of my, if we all hear prox chat and I say something like, I'm going to flank left, bro, that means I'm not flanking left, I'm staying here, or I'm going right.
Yeah, sure. Team tactics.
Team tactics. It has mostly been what you think it would be, which is people screaming and yelling and using profanity and being generally mean and kind of disgusting.
I mean, it is a Call of Duty game, so,
And yet, the real treat of proximity chat so far has been when my whole team has gone down in a 4v4 situation. I'm the last one left in a 2v1 situation. And all I'm doing is buying time because the rest of my team is buying themselves back in from the respawn mechanic of the game, right? And I'm just pulling out all the stops, and you can hear the people reacting to the things you're doing, like calling in an airstrike on them, and they're like, "Oh no, get inside!" Blah blah blah.
They know can hear that, right?
Yeah, they know.
Yelling into the microphone anyway.
But you have to talk to your team, and there's nothing you can do about it. Right?
And you can use a different program, right?
Sure. Yes, I've discussed this with my team and said that perhaps
Discord is right here.
Perhaps using Discord and not having a microphone on in game is actually an advantage. However, I've been currently overruled on that notion because of moments like when they've been taunting you for the last 5 minutes. You're still alive. You find an angle and sneak a headshot, and they scream into the microphone because of their surprise. It is somewhat rewarding.
I mean, it doesn't mean you have to turn their microphone off.
Yeah.
So that sounds fun.
Coded communications is now a thing in Warzone if you're going to keep your proximity chat on, which has been kind of interesting. The new game overall, probably better than the last one. I don't know. I haven't played it super a lot.
How different really is it? They changed the overall thing of the game, or is it still kind of that game but new map and stuff?
The new map is much better. The motion of the game is much slower. There's not a lot of reactive motion you can do. Before you could slide jump, and they called it slide canceling, and it was a tactic for keeping your character in motion at all times. Whereas now it's you can sprint and you can slide, but the way that they interact is delayed and more realistic in theory. So there's a little bit less movement technology. There's a lot the guns all have been slowed down. You can still really get motored quickly if you're not paying attention, but if you scrounge up one of the extra plates to give yourself extra armor, you can play decently cautiously now instead of being cautious killing you before, because someone could just blitz you and run and kill you with a gun that would kill you in 240 milliseconds. Now if you've got that extra thing on, you've got more than half a second to react and still not be dead.
That's a very specific. Yes, it does. That's a very specific amount of time. You have a specific complaint attached to 240 milliseconds.
There were some broken weapons in the last game that was so if you build it this way and you hit 3 headshots, it kills in 240 milliseconds. And it's well, for a lot of people that are cheating, hitting 3 headshots is not very hard. So far, I haven't heard a lot about cheating either in the game. So maybe they've done something there too.
Give them time; they'll figure it out.
It's one of those. It hasn't been out long enough for the cheat makers to figure it out.
We're on the downside of the sine wave, right?
Yeah. Oh, downside of the sine wave. You want to shake your head at yourself for not keeping your computer alive longer. Go look at the pre-Black Friday sales for Samsung memory.
Oh, I've already seen some of them.
The 2 terabyte SSDs I bought are 54% off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing some of those deals and have been not depressed, but
Look, this podcast,
the PC builders lament.
This podcast, our friendship and our gaming have benefited from us all building computers, and I will never worry about the cost that I could have saved. In general, it was a good amount of money to have spent to have upgraded at that point in time. And while that would be much cheaper right now, I'm not worried about it. That amount of money was less than a Disney pass. It wasn't even a car payment.
I mean, speaking of Disney passes, y'all excited about a different CEO?
Yeah.
The stock market certainly is.
Being a Disney stockholder, since we should say that up front, I guess, for whatever SEC reasons.
Here you go. If you're taking investment advice from this podcast,
stop.
Don't
please
do it.
First, please stop. Second, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, don't do that. However, it was a nice little 5% jump there for, I don't know. It's one of those ones that I hold that's like Pepsi. It's just hold it, you get paid for owning it. So yeah, but man, they got hammered over the last 11 months. Obviously COVID was a big problem, but
well, remains to be seen what the new guy will do. Of course, he may.
Well, the new guy,
is that other guy was
the old guy,
the old new
right.
guy.
But I'm just saying, is he going to go back to his old policies, or is he just going to be like, no, this guy was right, we're doing this?
No. There's the backstory there is that within the company, Chapek was much maligned. No one really liked him very much, and he had been handpicked to be the guy by Bob Iger, and they had a major falling out, I guess, just before he was supposed to take over. And the board kind of ousted Iger quickly so that they could try the transition without any drama. And turns out he was making other people mad anyway. So it's probably for the best overall. Seems like maybe some decisions, especially in the Disney Plus area of things, weren't so good in terms of cost.
Yep.
I mean, which foolish Disney Plus blunder are we discussing? There have been a few.
I think Disney Plus is no chance of being a liability for them long term. It's only going to be useful, but they gotta rein in some stuff there. Yeah.
I think it's clear, right? You can't putting all your eggs in that basket is at the detriment of every single other gigantic property you own.
It's one of those things that, like, with Bob Iger in charge, the parks were doing great, and then Chapek took over and COVID hit the parks, and then when the parks came back, it was like they expected them to outperform immediately, and so they cut a lot of stuff from the parks and made them bad, and then the parks outperformed, and somehow with his management they just didn't make any money. It was like they were doing really well and then, like, not at the same time. I don't understand it. It's very strange. Like, record attendance, record this, record that. We didn't actually make that much money, weirdly. Like, how? You axed like half the people that work at the parks.
And they also limited attendance, and then they also have been, like, cutting back.
Yeah, how's that limited attendance there, Michael?
It's been feeling real busy the last couple of times we've gone.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's clearly holidays, right? So the downtown is even more busy, and then the parks felt about the same, but there were a lot more people in downtown last time we were there.
Yeah, they also raised prices too, right? So that's like kind of a selector there.
I would lay the blame for whatever annual pass fiasco they came up with Magic Key and all that squarely probably on Chapek at this point. Everyone in the company will do that, right? And they will likely revamp that whole system.
I think a lot of people have been complaining quite loudly about the addition of whatever the line skipping thing is that everyone seems to really quite hate.
Yeah, it has made the lines a lot worse.
Shocker. Didn't I say exactly that would
everyone
when we talked
everyone
about
who has
this?
any rudimentary knowledge of how lines and traffic flow works knew that would be the case, right? Like,
I mean, I
they
said
just didn't care
exactly my experience with that program and said, gee, I wonder how this could ever be good. And it was like, I don't know how you don't have that discussion internally. Like, how can people? I don't.
They have the discussion, Andy. They just don't care. The thing, no, but they don't care.
I know,
because those people weren't paying. So screw.
You're right. All right.
Yeah. The problem is the, like, good voice in the room gets drowned out by the 10 other people who want a bigger bonus, right? Or
gosh,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like laying stuff like that at people because generally it's not true of people overall, but you're talking C-suite people, so yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, anywho. But Michael, you talked about attending Disney for a bit. Were you there for food?
We were there for food. So the holiday food festival at Disney's California Adventure has started.
Okay, so I've been to one of those once. It was pretty good. Is it quality?
Yes, yeah, it's always quality when they do the food festivals. So we've had some pretty good things so far. A couple of the holiday churros. There's one topped with like spiced apple compote, and then another one that's topped with that's rolled in dusted, like, chocolate cookie crumbs, and then topped with cherry syrup and pistachios.
Oh my God, that sounds so good.
And then they've got the extra food booths all lining the part of the walkway through the park, and so we've tried an esquites mac and cheese that comes with carnitas. What else? There was a holiday turkey and cranberry slider that was
Oh my
really
God, I already had
good.
dinner. We got to stop this.
So we're slowly working our way through some of the holiday offerings.
Knott's has some too, by the way, in case you still have your pass. They've got Santa's, what's it called? Santa's Christmas Cabin there going on now. And there's a whole bunch of, it's kind of similar to the summer stuff. Same
they used
kind
to
of
just
layout.
call it like, didn't they used to close all of Ghost Town and make it like a separate thing you could just go in? Are they still doing that or no?
Ghost Town is not closed, but yes, it took over most of Ghost Town.
But like, you could just go in without entrance to the park. Is that still the case?
No.
So you have to pay to get into that.
Yes.
Okay, because it used to be the case you could just go in or buy like a separate entrance to that stuff that you didn't have access to the rest of Knott's Berry Farm.
Gotcha. No, as far as I saw, there was no separate entrance or anything like that. You just came into the park. But I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I didn't see any. It was just open to the rest of the park as normal. So
okay, because they usually had to set up extra turnstiles at a few couple places.
None of that stuff is out and about. There's no extra turnstiles or anything. So no.
Okay then.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was cool. I mean, we did all that stuff. We got there. They don't start most of that stuff till like 11. So we did the park early in the kid area and then moved straight over there early to do the Santa line. And
Smart.
And we were like the fourth or fifth people in line because we were there before they let Santa out of his cage.
Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of like lunch and dinner stuff, Michael, that is food related. That's where I saw them loading up the Brewery X beer situation. Was outside
about that.
Yeah. Whole bunch of holiday Knott's only beers.
Okay, so in the past I have been to some of these at Knott's as well, although maybe it was several years ago now. Was Brewery X the brewer for some of their beers in the past also? Because I know they've had like Knott's specific beers in the past as well.
That's newish as far as I know. They're kind of taking over the county. Unfortunately, they make good beer. Unfortunately, money talks, and they've made massive investments to be basically like the largest brewer in the county now.
Bummer.
Whatever. I mean, it's interesting. I'd love to know where the money came from, but then it's not for me to know.
Venture capital usually is the answer to that question, right?
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds pretty cool, Michael. You guys had a good time with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're on it was good. It was very good. While we're on the topic of food, though, I have a couple of other things for you guys.
Do we need to convene?
I'm already hungry
here.
I'll give you the choice. Do you want to answer a food question, or do you want to hear some rules?
Oh man, hold on. I got to put out the rule list. We
well, you won't need our list. It's not something to add
proposed. So we should throw this back out there. Rule number 2 has been proposed. Michael, currently still the only person with food rules on the board, proposed if you change the food, the name needs to change, which you came up with a better name for that.
Yeah, what did I say? If you change the game, you change the name?
Change the game, change the name.
Much more succinct.
Yeah, which means you got to change the name if you're making a sushi burrito.
All right. So, Michael, are we going to try and like adjudicate law between two different jurisdictions here?
No. So I'll set it up for you, and you might have already come across this, JJ, because I know you listen to Wait, Don't Tell Me. But on this past weekend's episode of Wait, their special guest is a man named Freddie Johnson, and he is AV. No, I don't remember if he was the only one, but he is a brand ambassador for Buffalo Trace.
Oh,
I
this
have
is
not listened to
related
this,
to
but now
current topics.
Yeah,
I am a
exactly.
little behind in my wait listening. So now I'm just going to go click move this thing up to the front of my podcast list.
Yeah. So in talking to him, they're asking him about his favorite ways to drink bourbon, and he wraps up his chat with the hosts by giving them 3 unspoken rules of drinking nice bourbon, and this is like the
Oh,
fancy
snap.
top shelf bottles that you have. So
The
I
fanciest bottles. So you're talking about
Right.
bottles over like a couple $100.
Yeah, the like special occasion stuff that you have.
Okay.
So I'll share his 3 rules, and I think you will appreciate all 3 of them. The first is you will never even bring the bottle out with people you don't like.
Yeah. Yep.
The second is if you do like them enough to bring the bottle out, they are required to listen to what you had to go through to get the bottle before you pour them a drink.
Yeah.
That was the one that made me laugh the most.
I think people that have been, if you
Listening
like
to
me,
this podcast.
have listened to my travails attempting to acquire some hard to find bourbon. Yes, you all need to suffer with me, or at least empathize with my suffering before you get to taste this.
Gotta earn your drink.
Yep.
And then the last rule was if you do like them enough to bring the bottle out, neither of you is going to be in a hurry to go anywhere.
I like that rule.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
too.
would have thought of that one, but that's a good one.
I don't think that's a rule. I think that is endemic to the first rule, which is the bottle doesn't come out with people you're not going to appreciate it with. And if you're not going to be with those people long enough to appreciate it, you're not going to bring it out either.
Yeah.
Still
They're
think
stopping by to drop off their kids, and you're going to have a play date or whatever for an hour. No one is drinking.
Right.
So, okay. Not exactly what I would have expected when I was hearing rules for drinking bourbon. I was thinking like it's got to be in a teku glass or something, like.
Because I think like in reality, that stuff is the stuff that doesn't matter.
I mean, I guess the only real rule is like don't maybe throw Pappy in as in a mixed drink, like.
I mean, there are some people who have a lot of money and don't care also, right? Like you can go to bars and ask for pours and put whatever, they'll do whatever you tell them, right?
I know. Yeah, I guess.
I think
enjoy what you enjoy responsibly.
Yeah, that's the important thing, right?
That's
and I think as part of enjoying it responsibly, if you're going to drink with your friends and hang out, like those are some good rules to follow. I think that's solid stuff.
Man,
because I bet even expensive whiskey tastes good in a plastic cup.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. There's an unspoken rule in there, which is, don't let your friends know that you have expensive bottles, because if you never bring them out, they'll know you're not really their friends.
Oh, the reverse of the rule comes around.
Yeah,
and,
right. Like you've got to also think the reverse there, because if someone finds out that I've got X pours of Pappy left, which I don't, by the way, because we drank them, and then they're all of a sudden gone. How come that didn't come out for me?
Yeah.
No, I think more importantly on that one is like, if you have to be in the right kind of situation to be pouring those kinds of drinks even to start with, right? So
yeah,
hopefully your friends that are with you in other situations, every time they come over, they're not like, where's the drinks?
Where is it? Get the Eagle Rare.
Right. Yeah, you hope they have a little more discretion than that, or that they're there to see you and not your alcohol cabinet.
Again, I think that's the first rule.
Yeah, exactly.
You
right.
Know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll pose a question to you guys now, and it's kind of open ended. You can answer it with whatever you like, but this was prompted because over the weekend I broke into a package of limited edition salted caramel Oreos.
Okay.
And we are in that time of year where all the holiday beverages and holiday flavorings are coming out. And it got me to thinking, what are some of you guys' favorite variants that companies put out? It could be for holiday, it could be for something else, but a company that is known for like one thing and they put out different variants. And I'll seed the pot by saying the Chipotle Tabasco
Oh, that's not a
is
variant
high on my list. Why not?
because it's made all year round. I can go get it at the grocery store right now.
Okay. So maybe
That's just
I will say though,
flavor.
I love that Chipotle Tabasco.
Oh,
I do love it.
I don't even buy normal Tabasco anymore unless I need it. No, I don't even buy normal Tabasco. I don't, because if a recipe says it needs Tabasco, I'll find something else I like more and throw it in there as spice. But Chipotle Tabasco is, I don't know, like, is a very is it.
So I
don't think that
something
counts as a
more.
variant in my ruling here, but that's just me.
I think I have something that will be more to Andy's liking, hopefully. We were just talking about bourbon and Buffalo Trace. We found on our recent bourbon trip, we tasted something at Buffalo Trace that they call bourbon cream.
Oh, I've had that. It's wonderful.
yes, it is very good.
And it's effectively like
It's
cream with bourbon
it's
mixed
Bailey's. It's Bailey's with bourbon in it.
in. Right. And it's like 80% of the way to eggnog, by the way.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it makes a great eggnog. So that is, and actually, I do like a lot of this time of year, like eggnogs in particular. The like, oh, here, even like, you know what? Evan Williams makes a cheap bottle of eggnog. It's like $16 for like a 750 or something. And that is good eggnog, man. If you want some like bourbony eggnog, that would be my suggestion for that kind of stuff.
I see it at the grocery store every year.
It's pretty good if you like that stuff. Now, if you don't want the bourbon tastes, you will get a little bit of it in there. But yeah, that's my pick, I think, for a seasonal, like a definitely only seasonal thing. It's like if you want peppermint liqueur or like that kind of stuff, this is the only time of year you can find it.
I don't know. I'm really thrown off because he said Oreos first, and I was like, I like Oreos, but those aren't like related to the holidays.
I said it didn't have to be related to the holidays.
Yeah, but now I'm stuck on Oreos, and then you said Chipotle Tabasco, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I mean, that to me is just
okay.
like,
Well, hold on, Andy. I'm going to give you a minute to think. Michael, I need you to explain to me what are these Oreos that you were talking about.
So they are salted caramel Oreos. They have two different fillings on the inside. One of them is like I think it's a chocolate ganache, and the other is like a salted caramel filling. And then they have a sprinkle. What really makes them? They have a sprinkle of sea salt on the outside.
Are they also like normal Oreo coloring, or are they like
Yeah,
brown
so the cookie,
and white?
the cookie is the same dark chocolate Oreo cookie.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, the sea salt I can see. That's like a very classic, like dessert. Sprinkle some sea salt on your brownies or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. I have never seen those that I can recall ever. Maybe. So I was just curious what they looked like, and they were good, I assume.
Oh, they're very good.
Did I save you enough time there, Andy?
Yeah, I think it's like when you go, for me this time of year, the time you get weird stuff is at Trader Joe's, which is, I don't know if people are outside the US, they probably don't know what Trader Joe's is. you get strange like pastas and like pumpkin flavored things that aren't normally pumpkin flavored, or I don't know, like random types of baked bries. And I don't eat Oreos anymore. I don't know that I have an answer really to this question, other than the fact that like you can start to get things that like you don't see the rest of the year. Like the first thing I run out to go get when it's available is the Costco pumpkin pie. You know? But like a favorite variant of something, God, I don't have a good answer to this question. I really don't. I'm so sorry.
All right, I'm going to derail this discussion then.
All right, do it.
Why the Costco pumpkin pie in particular?
Because it's massive and it's $6 and it tastes good.
Okay. As a person who likes pumpkin pie a lot, why that one over like buying the can and making it yourself? Or
there's no
else,
replacement
right?
for making it yourself. Yours will be better than Costco's. But as far as pies that are made by anyone other than yourself, Costco's is hands down the best, and it is literally the size for $6. It is literally the size of 3 pumpkin pies.
It is like the size of not a dinner plate, but like the saucer plate underneath the dinner plate. You know,
it's no moon; it's a space station. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
seen them. I've never had.
Really,
one.
honestly, does taste good. It is on par with like the chickens, right? The chickens are not just cheap; they're really good.
Yeah.
On par easily with like they put money into making these cheap and good. They probably lose money on them. I don't know, but I don't buy them all season or whatever. It's just like they're out. I gotta get one.
That goes into a pumpkin pie. I guess a lot of evaporated milk. I don't know.
I mean, the packaging is probably the most expensive part.
that may even be.
The ingredients are cheap for pumpkin pie, so I don't know.
It's like a lot of sugar, pumpkin stuff.
I'll steal Michael's answer, Chipotle Tabasco, because I don't believe in the answer, but I do like that stuff.
The Chipotle Tabasco is unfortunately illegally good. All right. Let's touch on a few other topics here. I'll like uncharacteristically touch on video games for this podcast.
Yay.
Yeah, is it? I don't know.
Oh no. Oh, sorry. I talked about Warzone.
Like, oh, that's true. Right. I wasn't the first person to talk about video games, so that's all right. I'm still playing a lot of Persona 5 Royal. I've been following a guide like I talked about, and when you're following a guide, has this ever happened to you guys where you're following a guide and you get to the point and then you do what it says and the thing it says doesn't happen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh no.
What did I miss before this? What did I miss
before? Yeah, and can I fix it? Right? Like I have a lot of saves going back many days, but it's not an infinite number of days.
Yeah. And is it worth figuring it out?
Right. Or like, can I course correct? Can I do something? What can happen here? So I ran into that situation. I was trying to level up one of the people, and it seems like I had missed a single point with that person somewhere along the way. Not clear when that was.
Oh.
And I was like, oh no, okay. What can be done here? I did some Googling. I did some searching, and is like, okay, I think if I take, I swap a couple days around, so I'm not going to be able to do the thing it says today because this thing is off. If I swap this thing and this other thing, and then there's like a few things the guide recommends if you fall off like a tiny bit that might be able to get you back on track. So I'm like, I can definitely fit this in here if I swap these two things around, and maybe it will course correct by the time the third thing happens later, right? And like I will have caught up at that point. So I tried it, and it seems to have caught up now that I've hit the third thing.
Okay, good.
I'm still not sure because it's like there's no like exact meter you can gauge, but so far it seems to have been from there on I've been able to follow what the guide is saying. It's picking back up. So it was a dangerous couple weeks there in game where I had to like wing it a little bit.
I feel like you should go play those Tokimeki games and tell us how they are.
I don't think I want to do that.
It seems like the same type of work you're doing.
I think I like. Firstly, I think I like that this game is in English.
Oh, okay, fair point.
That's a big bonus there. The gameplay and stuff of this as well. And there's like more story to this than I think those Tokimeki games. But again, I'm not, haven't played any of those. I guess I can't say.
Yeah, Michael, I haven't answered your question.
Okay,
it was a softball. It was a softball, and I missed it. I forgot that Reese's. Every season we grab the variant Reese's.
There you go.
Oh my god, that's such a perfect answer.
That's a great one.
Because it's just such a thing that we like do that I don't even think about. It's like, oh, the pumpkin ones are here, and it's because they have more of the peanut butter in them.
Exactly the right answer. They're better because there's less chocolate.
But I was thinking, I haven't gotten any for Christmas yet, or holiday, or whatever you want. But usually it's trees at this time of year, so I say Christmas. But
I'll go ahead and tell you it is trees because I've had some.
Oh, so I was not thinking of it because the last time I saw them they were pumpkins. So
right.
Yeah. We always grab the holiday, whatever the current holiday is, Reese's.
And the ones that are the big eggs are really good.
Oh, those
pumpkins, similar.
Those are good because they're just a big round peanut butter ball.
Yeah, man. The Reese's. Does everyone agree that Reese's are a vehicle for delivering the peanut butter stuff and that the chocolate is just like also there? If they gave you just the peanut butter stuff and there was no chocolate, I would still just eat them.
Well, I mean,
you'd probably be almost as happy.
You can buy a peanut butter jar of Reese's if you want. I disagree that you don't need the chocolate, but I think a normal Reese's and especially bite-sized Reese's are wildly skewed towards chocolate when they should be more skewed, like the holiday ones, much towards the peanut butter. But I still like the chocolate being there.
I'm just the peanut butter freak. I want.
And they make dark chocolate Reese's and they're even better.
Okay,
that's another variant. There you go, Michael. There's another variant. Reese's variants. Reese's Pieces, Reese's. Whatever.
Good. That's a good response.
There you go.
I don't know if I would disagree with that. I would probably try the dark chocolate ones. Those are probably good.
They're good.
All right. Changing gears a little bit more. Andy, I heard you have some questions for us here.
Oh, I just have a question.
Singular question.
Yeah, and it's a Michael style question that you're not prepared for.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. If you could change something that wouldn't change the world, but just would stop a small annoyance to yourself, like, what would it be? Because today I thought of this as I gave myself a paper cut. And I thought to myself, I really just wish that paper cuts didn't hurt worse than normal cuts. I have on my hand right now a paper cut and a cut that I made with a bread knife. And guess which one hurts more?
100% the paper cut.
Right. So the little tiny thing that I could just change, if like a genie was like change something minute that would not change anyone's lives, I'd be like, paper cuts don't hurt anymore.
I might use your idea as a springboard, except instead of paper cuts, say stubbing your toe.
Oh, boom. Easy. Yeah. Not anything, like you can't go like, I would get rid of mosquitoes because they don't do anything. It's like, no, that would change a lot of people's lives because they have malaria and like disease and a whole bunch of stuff. But like, yeah, stubbing your toe. Like, I get that it hurt because I've damaged myself and like I should know that I've damaged myself, but I know I stubbed my toe because I tripped.
Yeah. It's like Like, what if they just hurt the same amount as like other minor things that don't hurt very much instead of hurting like a bunch extra?
Yeah, like the paper cut, right? Like, I don't get it. Okay.
Ooh, that's a
This is
tough
two
one. I don't
two
know if I have a
pain-related
good one
items.
for this.
I told you it's gonna be like Michael's. You're gonna be completely caught off guard.
You know, here is something that will literally change and affect nothing but bothers me. I wish if they gave me something that will improve no one's life, nothing will be changed usefully by it. If people, when driving, would respect where the like lines on the crosswalk are and not sit like 7 car lengths behind them and not sit like 3 car lengths in front of them, just like stop your front of your car at the crosswalk
Yes,
every
please.
time. If everyone just did that, that's it. It doesn't affect anything. It's not like if you sit 7 car lengths back, it's not, no one's life is appreciably ruined by this. I'm just mildly annoyed.
I can't say make Windows work. Like, I know the email's coming of like, well, why don't you just say your thing was to make the Windows audio work? Because that would change a bunch of people's lives. Like a bunch of people would
appreciably help Andrew.
yeah,
too much.
it would appreciably help me. People would be laid off from Microsoft because they wouldn't have 10 people trying to fix the same problem all the time. It would change a lot of people's lives. Yeah, you can't do it.
Andrew, in bad news for you, I heard that Windows 11 is going to start featuring ads in the start menu.
You can't imagine you can't turn that off somehow.
I mean, don't know. They were just talking about it, and I saw a bunch of people being like, "How do I go back to Windows 10 again?"
I'm just trying to think though, like how often do I even use the start menu? Or like where they would be playing ads? Because for me, when I pull up the start menu, I know what I'm after. And I like hit the key for the start menu to pop up and immediately start typing what I want. So the search field comes up instead anyway. So
Yeah.
I feel like that wouldn't bother me that much.
The
It's
search,
not. Okay, go ahead. I'll.
I was going to say that the thing they do then is hook the search to the internet, right? And as you start typing that, it's immediately binging.
Yeah, you can turn that off. I've turned that off. It's not a first foray into this, because when I got Windows 11, I don't know if you had to do this, Michael, but the lock screen menu had a bunch of things that I would call ads on it. Now, I think they were all Microsoft related, like make sure to sign up for OneDrive. Make sure to
God, I hate those OneDrive.
Make sure
ads.
to go. Oh, here's the top 5 things in Bing today. Here's this and that. I just literally had to go in and be like, no, never show me anything on the lock screen ever again. So if it's like that, I'm sure somewhere along the way they could turn it off. It's really targeting the people that don't know how to turn them off, right?
Which is, I will unfortunately tell you, most people.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what they're banking on.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I've gone onto all the parents' computers and turned these things off. And they've had these computers for years and they don't turn these things off. Right? Like even in the Windows 10 with the panes to the right of the start menu that were like, download these games.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, also to be fair, right? Like even those ads, like if you're like Michael or I, where you're typing things there, you don't even see those because you're just typing, the name of the thing you want, and not. Are there even those ads there? I don't know what those panes even are.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's other problems in Windows 11 before we get the ads in there, huh? How about we fix the other stuff? Fix the. I have a problem where the Finder will hang sometimes in large files, trying to read all the like if the folder has a ton of large files in it, it just hangs for a good 15, 20, 30 seconds sometimes. The only solution on the internet that I can find is create a new administrative user account and move everything over.
It's interesting that I wonder, is that the case if you do this via command line? Does it also lag there, or is it literally just the GUI side of it that's lagging?
I think it's the GUI side, which means it's fixable.
Yeah, because I was going to say the other answer is if you're comfortable with command line and you're just trying to move some files. What is it? Windows subsystem for Linux, and then you just have Linux at your Windows command line, and you can just CP files wherever you want them, and there's no problem.
True. Both, yeah, that would be less work than moving everything over to a new thing. But if
you're trying to copy like 50 gigabytes or whatever, that might be faster. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it only affects me once every couple weeks. So then you think back to the days when it's like I had to read everything off of floppy and that took forever. So, if it hangs for 15 seconds, I think I'm okay.
Yeah. 15 seconds to read 3,000 gigabytes. Why can't it do this? Come on. What happened to technology?
It's not Windows. You can tell it's not supposed to be doing it that way though, because it's a hang, not a like read. It's not reading anything, Yeah,
it's like loading thumbnails or something dumb that you don't care about.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. I feel like that's a pretty solid episode here, guys. I don't know.
Do we need to do an Octopath update?
Anyone got anything to talk about real quick? I don't have a ton. I am really like barely playing, honestly.
Oh, wow. That is an update. That's an update.
I play, but it's like I do the dailies enough to satisfy them, and then I close it. Typically.
And that's because you beat all the story and you're just kind of not into like you ground out all the weapons too, right?
I have weapons for my main party. I probably need a few more. I don't have battle tested, or I don't have. There's still one battle tested type I don't have, and then there is still a couple of the Sacred Fours that I don't have because I just never made the base one and then did the upgrade path.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Because I need regular materials and I have to go farm that dungeon some more, and I haven't done that. But like, to like what end? Like my team is good, and like I don't know that I'm, based on how much work it seems like it is to beat the arena stuff. I don't know how enticed I am by that. Mm-hmm. Maybe eventually my team just becomes powerful enough that it's like not that big a deal to get through some of these.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just haven't put any effort into trying.
I've had from the beginning kind of a wide leveling strategy instead of a focused leveling strategy. So I have, looking at some of these guides, almost all the people that I would need mostly leveled to do these things. So I'm still playing a decent amount. But I also haven't finished all the story stuff yet either.
And that's been my favorite stuff so far. I'm like, I'm going to eventually have to spend time and go back and do all the traveler stories for people on like my main team and people that I'm leveling that I haven't done. That's probably my next set of things to do.
I think
I'm still playing it at an okay clip. I'm excited about some of the things that they announced just tonight are coming in the next 4-month roadmap.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
More chapters. It looks like that's sweet as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. The one button press to collect all the Nameless Town stuff, that will be very nice. Which also apparently counts towards your daily feats. So all of the feats that you would get individually by talking to all the townspeople and doing those 4 fights in the next screen over, all of that just gets instantly collected.
Oh, it does the elites for you too?
It does the elites for you too.
Whoa.
Poggers, as the kids say.
That cuts a good.
That's like, by the way, that's like half of your my days right there.
Yeah.
JJ, you will be happy to hear also that the Nut Garden update, every tree yields 1 supreme medium nut, and the rare drop is 5 large supreme.
Jeepers.
That's some solid EXP right there, man.
Uh-huh.
I already have I have a couple people. I have multiple people in the 90s and one person approaching 99.
Wow.
So
nice.
I like I tell you, I was power leveling pretty hard there on like a certain specific set of people.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you get that high, it's like 8 million EXP or something to the next level. And it's like, I'm not giving this person the nuts anymore. They're just going to collect it because they're in the party. I'm not
say,
like, this is not worth
This
it.
is why
You got a berry somewhere.
boost berry. I have 7 boost berries just sitting around waiting.
Yeah, I don't have any berries that
Well, you will
But
eventually when you
yeah.
actually pull for a character. You'll end up
right.
with
That's what it will be, right? Because you just end up with them after doing that.
them. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think my big news is that I changed the name of my band.
Oh, this is big news.
Okay.
From the Hateful Eight. They are now known as Dogstar, which would be Keanu Reeves' band.
Yeah, good.
I like it.
But I think the real answer is that I should change the name to Bill and Ted. Because the dialogue boxes for when people are complimenting you, I would think would be really hilarious if it was like, you can't imagine the peace that Bill and Ted have brought to the world.
Shouldn't it just be Wild Stallions then?
I think it's too long. It's too long.
Is Wild Stallions too long?
It is.
No.
Shoot.
What if you take the space out?
How do they spell stallions?
There's a Y in it.
They do
That's all I
not.
know.
Is it really? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Pretty sure. Instead of the I at the end, right?
Oh,
It's
it's
the
just a
one-time
YN.
thing
It's
we
just
said.
Y. It's W.
Oh,
Y.
then it's just the right length without the
Well,
space.
We are no longer Dogstar. We are now Wild Stallions.
WYLD space STALLYNS.
Yeah,
I'm literally changing it right now.
perfect.
Wild Stallions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You save one letter by substituting IO with Y.
Wow. I was thinking about it. I was like, these are really funny quotes to say that your band has changed the world and we all have to thank the band and this and that and the other. I was just like, what is the funniest band? Well, Bill and Ted's band is the funniest band. So, and Tenacious D is way too long.
Yeah, I was just thinking, he's like, oh man, I would love to use Tenacious D, but yeah, that's way too long.
I tried that one
use-
before. I tried that
Man,
before.
that's what I
Hateful
should
Eight.
have. That's what I should have put into the feedback survey. Let us use more characters in the band name. What the heck?
Yeah,
I haven't done my feedback
been good.
survey, so that's what I will put in.
Please do that.
please put it in.
Okay. Well, we're doing a feedback survey by having you email us.
Yeah, this is feedback for us. Email us here at podcast at we were game. What? Podcast at wewergamers.com. That's how email works.
There we go.
Yeah. Is that a Mastodon address?
It sounded like one, right? I got confused there for a minute. Yeah, podcast at wewergamers.com. Go ahead and email us there. We would love to hear from you.
Send us your variants.
Yeah, there have to be some better ones certainly better than I was able to think of. But there must be better ones out there.
I don't know
Folks,
if
give
there's
us
a
some of
better
those.
one than Reese's. That's rough.
God, I wish you could just buy those egg versions of the Reese's all the time.
Yeah,
I would
it's
buy
weird,
nothing
right?
else.
It's weird that you have to wait. Although the best part of them is that after the holiday they're on sale. So, you know,
Stock up.
The day after Halloween is the best day for numerous reasons, but the candy being incredibly cheap is one of the great reasons.
good lord.
So,
I
yeah,
can't believe my band name
hit
is
us up
Wild
on there.
Stallions. No, it doesn't fit.
What? Still too long?
You got to take the space out, I think.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, we said that. You got to take the space out.
Oh,
Or
taking the
just
space
do-
out is no big deal.
Wild Stallion. That's also good. Just looks bad without
yeah.
a space.
Find us on the internet. We're on Facebook, We Were Gamers. YouTube, We Were Gamers, all one word, and we have a sweet new URL.
Oh yeah,
it's
Michael,
like-
what is it?
Yeah, youtube.com/@wewergamers.
There you go. That's the @ symbol.
Mhm.
Folks can find us there and check our stuff out. Be appreciated.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. If you're in the US and celebrating
If you
Thanksgiving,
celebrate it, yeah.
enjoy. Have a good time with your family or your friends or yourself, whatever you use this break for, because it's about to get crazy the rest of the year. So just take a little siesta.